I think you guys would love to hear about right now is outliers, which is something we've been doing for years. But it's like we talked about before. You can find basically any video that goes viral on any channel, and you can just set it where we can set it where show us a video on channels that have over 100,000 subscribers that got 50x on a view, 50x their normal views on a video, and you can browse through it and you can see it all. I don't want to show you guys too much. If you want to use it, just go to ViewStats Pro. Here, take this laptop. They're gonna get too much out of this, but you get it. Basically, anything you could want to increase your views, our goal is to put it on there. We currently have those 5 epic tools. We got a roadmap with another dozen. We're gonna try to roll out one every 2 months, or even more frequent. But I don't want to commit to anything crazy. And I mean, a year or two from now, I just hope that's basically like what creators use as their like studio dashboard. That left thumbnail in June 2020. I made myself. Like I literally photoshopped and made it. That was such a horrible thumbnail. So a lot of the ones we're updating are just the ones I made because I'm not great with Photoshop, and now I have like people who are actually good. And so we're just kind of going through and making them make sense because like they just don't make sense. Like that one in the bottom left with all the people, like you can't even see their faces. Yeah. 65 million subscribers. I have 4 times that. Like that was it looks
like a selfie.
Yeah, but it's like 60. There's 65 million subscribers combined between all the people in this video, and it's like that doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy that at the time I thought that was a flex? In the bottom left of a thumbnail, I wrote 65 million subscribers. Like guys, you won't believe how many YouTubers I got in this video.
That was.
And then now here we are. What are we at? Like 240 or something? 250. Yeah, so it's mostly the ones I did, just making them not horrible, to be honest. So it depends which ones. I see you have the plane ticket one.
Yeah.
That one was a huge change. These, it's kind of branding and just making it where it makes sense.
Yeah.
And sometimes the views go up. This right here, this bad boy. We did a bunch of A/B thumbnail tests, and the one with me sitting in just a normal seat won. And then I don't remember how far after we uploaded, maybe like a month or two. Or we were like, wait a minute, we could probably do a better thumbnail. And then we swapped it out for this split screen thumbnail, which we had never done before. But I do occasionally see on ViewStats other channels doing really good with the split screen thumbnail. So it's like, screw it, let's try it. And then we put one on plane ticket, and I mean, that thing went off. I think it got an extra like, what was it, like 30 or 40 million views because we swapped the thumbnail.
Yeah.
So it can have big effects sometimes. And that was probably our best A/B thumbnail, or not A/B. That was probably our best swap like months later that we've ever had. It's probably a tool we'll roll out into ViewStats Pro later in the future, but we essentially just look at all the viewership on keywords across all of YouTube. And if theoretically there's 100 billion views on videos with Lamborghini and there's 500 million views on videos with Ferrari, I'm just making up numbers, then clearly people are just more interested in Lamborghinis than Ferrari. It's just kind of objective.
Yeah.
So that's what, Chucky gets pretty crazy with his terms, interest market cap, but it's essentially just looking at all the views, titles with that word have. And then, if it's kind of same, right? If it was like 100 billion Lamborghini, 80 billion Ferrari, who cares? It's nominal. But if it's like one's like 20, 30 times better, it's usually a good indicator that like, that is something people are more interested in. Yeah. And there's a big discrepancy between Lamborghini and Ferrari.
Yeah.
A lot of times though, again, this is where it's hard because we like data, but it's also a lot of intuition, and like you got to know your audience. And so like the data could say do hotel rooms first, but you could also be a beauty YouTuber and it just make more sense to do a makeup palette. Yeah, it might not have the most views, but like your audience doesn't care about hotels. So it's a blend of all that. So you have to really you have to look at it from a lens of like, what is my audience? What would my audience want? And then like, yes, if there's no difference, if to your audience, there's no difference between a hotel room or a vacation. Yeah, hotels probably is simpler and would perform better. But if you're a family channel, they'd probably care more about vacations because they want to, think of vacations they could take their kids on or that kind of stuff. Or maybe your family channel that kids just watch, right? And then maybe vacations don't matter as much because kids can't afford it. I don't know, so you got to run through those scenarios. But net equal, it's like I said, even then, if the market cap's kind of the same on the viewership, or even like this, it doesn't matter. But if it's like this, then it's like, all right, now this is when you should go with this one. More people clearly care.
Yeah.
A lot of nuance. I mean, views and performance matter, but ultimately we're just trying to make the audience happy. And I want to give them videos that they like. And I know, because at the end of the day, like you can get views on a video, but people can feel unsatisfied and then not click the next one and eventually churn them out. The reason why 100 million people keep coming back every video is because we constantly try to prioritize what they want and what makes them happy. And so this is where it's hard. This is the thing that I struggle the most with training people on, and which is why I do it. It's just like you kind of just have to be really in the trenches with your community. You have to read a lot about what they say online and just talk to a lot of them, and you can kind of just tell. Like Protect, even if they weren't underperforming, even if they were kind of
the Protect series,
the Protect series, even if that was like a 5 out of 10, I still wouldn't do them because I can just kind of tell people aren't like super enthusiastic about it, and I'd be like, yeah. If you ask me, no. If you ask my team, yes. But it's a lot of like, I'll be like, I want to do this, and they'll be like, it's too expensive, and I'll be like, is it too expensive, or have you not looked into the numbers yet? And they're like, well, I'm like, all right, we'll get the exact numbers. Come on, And then a lot of times I'm usually like, well, is it a problem if we're $1 million over budget? Come on, they kind of want it.
What was the last video where you had that conversation?
Oh, almost every video. Yeah, I mean, thankfully, Feastables is doing well because we're still struggling on quite a few of these. I mean, if you watch them, like ages 1 through 100, I mean, that was a monster of a video. Or even the yacht video, our last video. I mean, if you saw all the 100 cannons and all the people shooting at it and the million fireworks and giving the guy a yacht and the explosions and all that kind of stuff and the construction crew, like, I don't know, that video. Well, actually, that one might have been on budget. What was the video we uploaded before that? Ages 1 to 100. Yeah, No Shot Ages 1 to 100 was on budget. That was probably $1 million over budget. Do you know the video before Ages 1 to 100? Room Explodes. Yeah, and then before that was Room Explodes. That video, wow. Did you see the tower? Did they show you it?
No, not yet.
Oh my gosh, I need to show you it.
We've been in here prepping for days.
I know.
Yeah.
I have a tower, like an actual tower.
I saw the video. Yeah,
but it's still up over there in a field. Like
okay, I got to
take a real big tower. And once you see that, you're like, holy crap. Like, I don't even, that one, weirdly enough, I think might have been close on budget. I don't know how. But then we have like ones like, Built 100 Wells. Like, obviously that one was very expensive. And we usually don't do brand deals on those kinds of videos because it feels a little weird. I might start to in the future so I could do more. But it's just like, it's kind of weird to, hey, here's well number 50. Anyways, let me tell you about blank. But if I did a brand deal, then I could build 200 wells. So it's like, that's a hard little distinction. I'm probably going to start doing brand deals on those. Anyways, fine.
This video is completely real time. You'll notice it's exactly 10 minutes long. There are no cuts. You see everything. And if Darcy does not escape his jacket and get through all 5 floors of this tower and press that button before the timer hits 0, his money explodes.
That was very terrifying. How did we come up with the idea?
Yeah.
It's just honestly a lot. Because we don't upload that much. Like, we're uploading, 2 videos a month. Like, this year, maybe we'll do 30 videos. So I have, countless ideas I'm sitting on. And that's, like, one of the ideas I've just been wanting to do for a very long time. Like, what usually happens is I say I want to film something, and then we're like, we don't know how to do that. And then, like, 2 years later, we end up doing it. Like, that's kind of where we're at now. Protect was something I wanted to do for a very, very long time. Even like Antarctica, which I think we went to like a year ago. It was a running joke. For 3 years before we filmed that, I wanted to go to Antarctica. And we couldn't get there. We couldn't figure it out. It was too expensive. And then eventually we got to a place where it was like, if this is how much we can spend on a video, this is what it costs. After like 3 years, we got to the point where we could actually afford it. And then we went to Antarctica, and that was sick.
What are you spending right now per short?
Oh gosh. Some of the ones we have coming up, I know we're giving away 100K in them, so I know at least off the rip it's 100K. I would say the average is probably, I don't know, maybe like 30, 40 grand. It's just like they don't make money. Like I'm not making that kind of money per short, but it's kind of like I just want to make good content, so I'm not really focused on making money off of them.
Yeah.
Some of our shorts could, like 3 years ago, could have been a long form video. I know, it's crazy, and that's what I want. And like, we're ramping them up. They're going to get much better over time. I'm working on getting some people in to help me, and we've really been brainstorming like what is MrBeast on shorts. I don't think we've fully cracked the code yet, but I agree. Like the spot the hidden person one. Like, we're building huge sets for those. The prizes like not this. We have a similar building like this, down the road, and it's like this whole building we'll build on a giant set just for someone to like spot 5 hidden people. That Amazon show is obviously. Our YouTube channel is a lot, the big videos, the spectacles, the multi-million-dollar budget. Sometimes we're having hundreds of people breaking world records with cameras. These are, it's tough. Just doing the main channel is brutal. But yeah, this year, I wanted to take it up a notch and, do our first streaming show on Amazon. And yeah, that's so basically it's probably going to be 2 months worth of like Amazon shooting, like from the time my eyes open to the time they close. Like that's all I'm going to do. If we want this show to be as good as I want it to be and just absolutely crush every, well, I don't want to say anything that will, set me up for something in case I don't hit it. But if I want this to be just a world-class streaming show, I got to represent the YouTube community. Like a lot of people are going to watch our show on Amazon, and it's going to kind of be indicative of creators. And so if it's not good, they're going to be like, see, YouTubers can't make, streaming content. That's why they stick on YouTube. They're not the same as us. There's a lot of elitist mentality over there, even in the people, we're talking with to help with the show. I see it still occasionally. I'm like, oh, why can't we just make great content? Why does it have to be like, why can't we just all be creators? So I really want this show to crush so it reflects well in the YouTube community. And so, yeah, we're going all out for that. But that's the problem is, I usually film almost every day. So for me to spend 60 days or almost every day from the main channel. So for me to spend 45, 60 days on the Amazon show, yeah, basically just have to jam my schedule up to the max before and after so I don't skip a beat on YouTube because YouTube's my number one priority. I don't want the YouTube channel to miss anything for this Amazon show. So, which is also why we brought on I think we're up to over 70 people now just to help with the Amazon show, independent of the main channel.
Wow.
Because that show's huge, man. I haven't talked about it too much. I have to think really hard on what I say because I don't want to spoil anything, especially for the contestants. But we're buying private islands. We're buying. We're building a city. We're doing things that don't make sense. Picture my biggest YouTube video ever. Like this is it. And this is like a normal episode on that show. Because I have a way bigger budget. Way, way, way more money than I normally have. And we're just going all out. Like we're not holding back everything. Like one of the Amazon episodes is probably 5 times more expensive than my most expensive YouTube video. That's like how
$15 million per episode.
I not per every episode. I just one of the episodes we're spending. It's crazy, but it's so all these ideas I've had sitting in my head for a very long time. I can do right. Like I want to, just give away an island in an episode for this cool little thing. We can do it. We want to build a city so we can blow it up. We can do it. You want to do this? We can do it. It's awesome because it's really money is not a constraint. It's just what is phenomenal content. And then that's why at the ages 1 through 100 we've been practicing the storytelling because I don't want it just to be big budget spectacle, but I also want it to be you get attached to the characters and you feel the story and you're rooting for them. And so that's why I'm really trying to practice a lot on YouTube. So when we film this in a couple months, it's if you combine the spectacle, our filmmaking, the authenticity, the budget, and we really nail down the storytelling. that thing's going to be world class. I'm so excited. But yeah, so it's basically leading up to it, I'm filming every single day. And then afterwards every single day. So it's going to be 6 months of just filming every minute of the day, essentially. The problem, it's so random because we just filmed a different video that we needed it to be dark.
Yeah.
So we would start filming at 9 p.m. and we'd finish filming at 6 a.m. So in that case, it's just different. So I'm getting up at 1 p.m. and then I'm going to check on the people in the. Well, no, I'd probably get up at 2 p.m. I like to get at least 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Anything less than 8 hours, I'm screwed. I need Red Bull and I hate it. I don't like being a zombie. So if we finish at 6, I'd get home at 7. So yeah, I'd get up around 2 and then it would usually be we'd wake up, we'd go film with the bunker people, or I have a different 100 Days video I can't mention going on. I'd go film with them or I'd go film with the people in the wilderness. Boom. And then that would take me up to 6 or 7, and then I just do a little bit of Feastables, all the business stuff, and then have everything done by 9. And then it's just all right, the sun's down. This is a video we just finished filming. It was 5 or 6 days of this. And then, I'll show you. We have a wipeout course. We were lifting literally giant wipeout courses 100, 200 feet in the sky and filming on them. And so now it's dark and it looks pitch black in the background. And, and so we're lifting these cranes up and everything and then, going all night. And so that's one day. And then a different day is it's because there is opportunity cost because every day I'm not filming, that is there is no such thing as a perfect video. It can always be better. So every day I don't film is a day I could have filmed and made these videos better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's you almost don't, it's hard. I wouldn't recommend you put yourself in a position like me because it's a lot. A normal companies go up like this, the CEO, this one's flipped. Yeah. Everything funnels down. I am technically the product. I'm the thing that keeps it spinning. The hundreds of people we employ, it all falls apart if I don't show up. So it's a lot of pressure for people, which is why I don't recommend most people do videos like me, because it requires you to have a lot of team, a lot of money. And it's a lot of stuff just resting on your shoulders. But yeah, it's like essentially every day off is like kind of an L for the content. It just means the videos are worse. You know,
Do you plan?
it was a 10 out of 10. So the protect the yacht. No, I mean, years ago, yeah, I mean, it would absolutely destroy me. I mean, this was my entire personality, everything that mattered to me. And so, I mean, I would cry. Like it was pretty crazy. But now, I mean, it hurts. It's like someone stabbed me, and then I'm just like, take the knife out. What did I do wrong? I go observe it, and then I just don't open my phone. And if you just don't look at Creator Studio, you're like, oh, maybe it's a 5 out of 10. I just won't check, and then you just kind of ignore it. So that's kind of where I'm at. I absorb the pain. I let I feel the emotions, and I'm like, damn, I'm depressed. And then I just funnel that energy into what did I do wrong? And in this case, I was like, never doing a Protect series again. Screw that. People don't like it. That thumbnail's horrible. And then, okay, we got that. Move on. You know what I mean? Which is hard, but then you just start working on the next video. And eventually you just get so... I mean, the thing is, I don't view it as maximizing our efficiency. It's just kind of like my life at this point. Because like I said, like every second I'm not filming is like there are things I need to be filmed. There's so many things. There's probably 20 shorts I need to film, some like 10 TikToks I need to film. I have 300-day videos going on, and I have, you know, we're always filming main channel videos. So no, it's just kind of like it's just kind of, I don't know, my life. It's not. If I'm like just sitting down doing nothing, I kind of feel weird. I'm like, oh, I'm doing something wrong. Like someone's gonna yell at me. I shouldn't be doing this. So if that kind of answers the question, it's kind of just how things have always been, you know.
Yeah.
But it's not like you don't snap your fingers and end up here. This is like a slow progression over many years. Like I decided a long time ago that like, yeah, I want to spend as much time as possible filming, and all the other stuff I want to train people up to like be able to do it. I just want to be involved in creative and filming, and ideally that's where most of my time goes. So it's a cognitive decision of like, you know, training up other people to take everything else off, and then like pushing people to push me. Like it's not like I'm telling people push me and you know, make me a better person and help me make better content, and like, you know, let's make this the priority, that kind of stuff. But it takes a long time to ramp up to that point, because you know, if we need to shoot 20 or 30 images, we don't want them to have to reset for 15-20 minutes in between each. That would take an entire day. So these grid lines allow them to put little marks so they can practice the images before, like the lighting and that kind of stuff, so we can kind of just flow from one image to the next. And they don't have to like think about all the lighting. They can just have all the lighting marks have here is the only real linear constraint for the company or for the channel is me, right? You know, so some of our videos we're filming 7 to 10 days. Like some months I'm literally on set, you know, 28 days out of 30. Some months, you know, a typical month might be closer to 20. And so it's just hard because it's like if you envision it, if we film 3 videos in a month, and like the first is a $1 versus, right? We'll say like $1 versus $1 million hotel. I have to fly to 7 different hotels all around the world. One of them's in India, right? That's 3 days off the rip right there. So like that's a 10-day filming slot, if not 11 days. And that's if we're really extreme and cutthroat with the time. And then I have to go film another video. But that's, you know, 7 days of filming, but it's also a day of travel to get there and a day of travel to get back, right? Now that's 9 days. So that's 20 days, and that's only 2. And then you tack on a third video there. Or if we have like a long 100-day video, like right now we have people living in a bunker, survive 100 days in a bunker, win $500,000. And like, you know, that's something I have to check in on them. I have to check in on, we have some people in the wilderness. And then I have to, so that would take you up to 22 days. Then I have to film shorts and TikToks and all that other stuff, which isn't crazy hard, but that's still a couple more days. And then I have to work on Feastables. The next thing you know, like I'm like, from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, basically booked for like 28 days straight. And it's like, well, I still have to do thumbnails. But yeah, and this one, to me, I'm not as in the weeds on these when they collect people, but we have just a lot of people locally that we usually end up using. And I think we have an app where we just put out like a ping, like, hey, you want to help us with blank? Here's what it'll look like, blah, blah. And people just sign up for it. So they probably did that, got all these people, and then, yeah, got the have now, or the team we have, they're just phenomenal. Yeah. Like, you know, 3 years ago or whatever, I was making these thumbnails in Photoshop, and I mean, I couldn't do half the stuff they do. Like, sometimes I'll just throw out something, I'll be like, you know, it'd be cool if there's a building in the background, but I know that's not possible. And they'd be like, why? We just put it there. I'm like, what do you mean? And then they'll like come back 2 hours later. I'm like, oh, all right, well, that's that looks real. Cool.
I saw like that you have like stand-ins. And this is something you tweeted out.
Yeah, so we have this one person every time before we shoot a thumbnail, or before I go in to shoot a thumbnail, he does the thumbnail, so I can kind of look at it and make sure I like it. And so we have a lot of images. Like for every one I take, there's probably 100 of him, and then they'll take it. Let me see what it looks like, and I'll be like, that looks good. And then they'll set it up, and I'll come in and crank it out.
It's so impressive, man.
This is awesome. He just is handing me paper. This is like I was gonna like throw it up on MrBeast too, like the 2 days.
Yeah.
I forgot I never did that. Someone remind me to do that. Yeah, we went to spend 7 days on a deserted island, and the three things that really make me miserable, like I can bury myself alive. I can not eat food for weeks. I can do extreme things. I can count to 100,000. But there are three things that just make me want to die, and I really struggle with. And it's heat, it's the sun, and it's bugs. Those are like if it's an extreme challenge and it doesn't have those three variables, I got it. If you introduce one of those, it's like woo. I don't know. And so yeah, we did 7 days on a deserted island. And it was very hot. There's a lot of sun because I get very paranoid. I don't want to get sunburn and skin damage.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of bugs. And I mean, I was getting just destroyed by bugs. And yeah, on day 2, I woke up and my leg just had like 100 bug bites on it. Both of them. I was sunburned. It was like so hot. Like it wasn't supposed to be that hot. It was supposed to be whatever, like 80 degrees. For some reason, it's like 90 degrees. It was miserable. And I was like, I can't do 5 more days of that. And which is that's something I've learned about myself. So now I don't put myself in those kinds of positions anymore because I don't mind like pushing. I actually enjoy pushing myself. Like when I counted to 100,000, obviously I was miserable the last 50 hours, but weirdly I get enjoyment out of like going to the point of misery and then pushing through it and finishing. It's like something I for whatever reason kind of enjoy. But it's just those three things. I've noticed anytime it's one of those three variables, it turns from enjoyable misery that when I complete, I'm happy to like this. I just want to die. Like I can't do this. Like, and I'll finish it. I'll be like, that was the worst day of my life or week of my life. I can't. So yeah. So anyways, after day 2, we scrapped it, shot the flare, and then but then I'm like on the boat ride back, I'm like I lost. And then now I'm like, it's messing with my head. I can't. So then we came back, refilmed it. It's different than if we spend 7 days on it. So if we buy it, we'll send someone to scout it. The 7 days stranded, I think we send someone out there. Well, usually we'll just call someone local, tell them to go out there and be like, hey, tell us what you see, or whatever. Or we'll send someone out there just to like make sure there's not a trillion snakes everywhere. So yeah, they'll scout it out and be like, yeah, Jimmy won't die. And they'll be like, cool, I'm coming out.
I know.
Every single day I try to visit at least a Walmart and Target and just look how the product, because at the end of the day, if you're selling like a CPG consumer packaged good, like, you're just putting it's something on a shelf and, you want to have the same experience as people buying it and make sure it's a good experience, which, so yeah, in that instance, I would go to a lot of stores, which also, just to be clear, it wasn't the Walmart or Target employees' faults. It was ours. We didn't have enough bars. So we would send bars, they would sell out. And then and then sales would go to 0, and then we'd send more. But like you can't expect it right when it hits for them to go put it out. Yeah. So I would go there right when the delivery would hit, and then put it out. Which obviously they would have done it. It just which we've kind of solved because we're ramping up production of more and more bars. So hopefully that's not a thing anymore. But yeah, I mean, I feel like that's just 101. You should just go see your product out in the wild.
I feel like
that everyone freaked out, but that wasn't what I was trying to get. Was like people were like, "Whoa, you go to the stores," and I wasn't trying to be like, "Oh, look at me." It was just an interesting thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've probably in the last month visited like 60 or 70 Walmarts. Like, and sometimes instead of flying somewhere, I'll drive there so I can hit like 20 Walmarts along the way and look at Feastables in the chocolate aisle. We did that. We had like a layover from DC to North Carolina, and I was just like, screw it. I just like didn't go to it, and like the person I was flying with was like, where'd Jimmy go? I was like, and I texted him. I was like, I'm just gonna rent a car and drive home so I can visit 30 Walmarts. And I was like, you should board the flight though. And then I just drove and hit every Walmart from DC down to North Carolina.
Are you getting stopped at the Walmart? So like, I imagine it's hard for you to go.
I'm going to tell you, I have a couple of strategies to not take photos. Yeah, if I don't do anything and I just especially because I'm kind of tall, like, my head is usually above other people's. So what I usually do is, I'll tell you the second best strategy because I don't want people to know my number one is if I throw a beanie on and glasses, no one recognizes me. It's like, because I never have worn a beanie in a video. It's just they're like, if I get it where it covers up my bangs, so it's like here, and then I throw on shades, it'll be like the amount of photos go down 99%. or maybe like 95. And then there's another, I can take it one step further if I really don't want to take a photo, and yeah, no one will notice me. Because like if I cover up my facial hair too, then yeah, if you can't see my bangs, my facial hair, then it's just like some tall white guy. So no one recognizes me, which is what I usually do. I just went to, this is something we'll talk about later in the year, but I just visited a lot of my farms in Africa, and with something special we've been working on for Feastables. But I don't want to dive deep into that. Give me a couple months to talk more about it, everything. I'm involved in every part of everything we do. I mean, obviously, sometimes I'll help with the thumbnails, sometimes I'll help with the video creative, sometimes I'll, any job in Feastables. If it's designing the packaging, if it's the artwork, calling a retailer. There's nothing I won't do because these are my companies, you know what I mean? So if someone's struggling and needs help, I'll help them. If someone needs help, figuring out how to clean this floor, I really don't care. You know what I mean? Just percentage. Yeah. Let's see, for this year, think on it. I haven't done this math. So we're talking revenue, obviously, not profit. But because I don't even know if we'll make money this year, just because we're, in Feastables, we're making so much product content, we don't ever make money. Maybe one day. And view stats, right now we have no revenue. We just, we've put millions of dollars into building tools, and we don't even have ads on the site. So that's kind of the status of a lot of things. But for revenue, over half of it will be Feastables, a lot of it. Because obviously that's just blowing up and people are really liking. Now that we updated the formula, it's crushing. And then outside of that, there's just a lot, because I don't have I don't bucket it as YouTube. I have it as like ad revenue, brand deals, theoretically merch, this, and so there's so many line items. And last time I looked, but obviously we're going to spend over $120 million this year on content. So you can deduce we're probably going to do close to that. For Feastables. Well, I have to do brand deals in almost every video. So the only ones I don't are usually like the really hardcore philanthropy ones where I'm like, ooh, this might feel weird. I'm okay with just take a couple $1 million L. But like the Wells and maybe one others. But outside of that, every video has a brand deal on it, because that's the only way I can keep the lights on. Because that $3 million, isn't factoring in like the warehouses or the studios or a lot of other expenses I have. That's just kind of like the cost of the video and like the people working on it. So like if I don't do a brand deal, right, and I spend $3 million, but I have theoretically another $1 million in G&A and stuff like that. So it's like the total cost of everything, like $4 million to get that video out the door, and I don't put a brand deal on it. I'm not making $4 million in ad revenue. So if there is no brand deal, let's say theoretically, a brand pays me $2.5 million, and like, if we don't put a brand deal on it, then that's an extra $2.5 million negative on that video. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I have to do them, or we're screwed. I've said no to a lot of big ones. The obvious easy ones are like, I've had a lot of, those crypto casino. But even outside of those, there are some that I won't say them because I don't want them to feel weird, but some that just didn't feel like a right fit. And I've had people offer tens of millions of dollars, and I'm like, I don't know. Like,
for one video?
No, for
multiple.
For multiple. And I'm like, do you know what my audience is? I don't. No. For your sanity, I'm going to say no. Also, I don't want to say it because the problem is it always goes up. Yeah. And then the people who hear this will be like, oh, well, Jimmy's overcharging us. We're getting screwed. Yeah. But not enough. I need more to be able to afford my videos. So, because my video costs keep going up. And they go up. They just go, my video costs go up like this, and my brand deals go up like that. Just not at the same rate. But it's obviously more than I ever would have imagined. If you asked me 5 years ago, whatever number I said is that time. 100%. When after this, I'll explain kind of my roadmap the back half of this year. Yeah. We're just like right now we're pouring all our money into like setting up certain things that I'm gonna be talking about later this year, and with Feastables, and just working on like the ethical sourcing and that kind of stuff. And I'm pouring everything I have into it. Once that's up and running, which I'll explain off camera, then we're gonna be going. I think a lot of creators are launching products, and for some it makes sense, but I think for a lot it's just building a real business is hard. You know what I mean? Like, building up Feastables. Like I'm in the weeds. This thing is taking an unfathomable amount of my time, an unfathomable amount of money. Like, success isn't guaranteed. And even if you have the influence, right, getting people to repeat purchase, come back, innovating the products, right? You can't just get by on your name. You can for a first buy, but if you want people routinely buying, your product over 5-10 years, and so I think if you want to launch a product, do it. Like, don't listen to me. I mean, who cares? Do whatever you want and what excites you. And I could be wrong, but for a lot of people, I think it's just premature. And honestly, I think they can make way more money doing brand deals than launching a product. And it's like, I don't even think it's something they're passionate about, and I don't think they realize just how difficult it is. And I think, I mean, you're kind of seeing it. Like, a lot are launching, but a lot are already, being closed. And so I'm saying it because I'm already seeing a ton of influencers shut down their CPG products and their food and beverage brands that they're doing. And I think way too many are doing it, and they don't understand this stuff's hard. Like, it's, you don't just like, hire 2 people and they just magically make, blank and then, put it out there. Like, you need a team, and you need to like do it as you're competing with brands that have been around for 100 years. So anyways, my answer is, I think for most people, they would benefit from just doing brand deals as opposed to starting their own business, because it's just a lot more work than I think they realize.
Yeah.
And I think like the opportunity cost of like starting a business for 2 years, right? A brand, if you're an influencer, and then promoting it, because you have no experience in CPG or any of this stuff, it just kind of flopping, never really making any money. It kind of flatlines and then slowly kind of dies, right? That's 2 years where you could have theoretically been doing, if you're a decent sized creator, like 200K brand deal here,